Back here for the start of the second half at Purdue, the third-ranked team in the country, Ohio State, with a 34-33 lead. We're inside Mackey Arena, where it has been hopping here on New Year's Eve. Dave Fleming alongside Sean Farnham. We've had a very entertaining game so far. Ohio State undefeated, third-ranked in the country, starting conference play here this afternoon. Every team in conference is going to have to contend with their senior leader, Aaron Craft.
And his footprint on this game has already shown up. His ability to find his teammates, 7 assists, 0 turnovers. But how about the hustle play? 15 feet behind the ball. You see him on the left-hand side of your screen. Watch his close in and his hustle. He never gives up on a play. I think he partially deflected that one, comes back in, saves it, and then attacks aggressively at the other end of the floor. A good first half when you think about Aaron Craft, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Meanwhile, for Purdue, how about the play of A.J. Hammonds? They need the big fella to come and play. Coach Painter told us they were going to play from the inside out. It has worked well for him. He's got a near double-double at the break with 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 block shots. He also got Williams and McDonald both to the bench in foul trouble. It will be key in the second half for Matt Painter to continue to have A.J. Hammonds play with the same effort that he gave in the first 20 minutes.
2 of the stars of this conference playing like stars on this New Year's Eve afternoon at a very loud Mackey Arena. A.J. Hammonds has a chance to be so good. And Aaron Craft, we know the kind of career he's had, played every minute of the first half. And, of course, he's on the floor to start the second half. Buckeyes playing defense. Purdue has the ball. Johnson looking to get the ball inside. I think Hammonds was there. Johnson with the runner came up short.
Johnson, ultra aggressive, both of them in the first half, trying to attack the paint.
Craft to Smith. There's Ross attacking down the middle. Scoop shot, got his own miss. Hammonds blocked another one, and now a foul. So a foul against the Boilermakers. That's the 3rd block for A.J. Hammonds. But he did not commit the foul. It was Smotherman who committed his first personal.
And really, you look at the foul trouble for Purdue, only one, and that's Jay Simpson, who had 3 fouls in 3 minutes coming off the bench. Everybody else is very clean going into the second half as far as foul issues go. There were 4 Buckeyes with multiple fouls in the first half.
Quentin Ross, who was so good in the NCAA tournament last year for Ohio State, their run to the Elite 8. Before losing to Wichita State. Shockers went on to the Final Four. Hammonds down low, and he got blocked by Amir Williams.
I think Hammonds could have been a little bit stronger with that ball. Might have even picked up a 3rd personal foul on Williams.
Smith no good on the 3. Quick outlet. Purdue has some numbers here. Jerome Johnson. Craft got out of his way. The rebound and the putback for Smotherman.
First 2 points here in the second half for Purdue, and once again, it's getting on the offensive glass.
And as you pointed out in that first half, getting those offensive rebounds and then actually turning those into points.
5 points now on 9 offensive rebounds for Purdue.
Purdue should be doing a little better than that. Great look. Scott wide open from Williams.
A breakdown on the weak side of the defense. Davis had to pinch in. If you're going to double the post, your opposite wing has got to get into the center of the paint and take away that option.
Johnson into the lane. His younger brother, Ronnie, now dribbles it back out. Thought about the lob play. Hammonds to a cutting Davis. Pass knocked around. Purdue lucky to keep possession. Johnson scores. That's Ronnie Johnson.
5 of 6 from the field, 11 points, and most of those coming in the paint, aggressively turning the corner, using his shoulder strength to bounce off the defenders and get easy looks.
Look at Hammonds sagged way off the big man Williams, who's not a shooter. Ross underneath. Ross challenge, stays with it though to score another basket.
I like the approach of LaQuinton Ross here in the second half. He's got 4 early points.
One thing he does well, he follows his own miss. We've seen him do that from the outside and when he attacks the basket. Foul on the perimeter against Ohio State.
You see the drive, baseline. Hammonds comes over to make a play on it, and then he just stays with it. You know, it's easy to make effort plays, when your best player on the team in Aaron Craft is your hardest worker. It filters through the team, and I think that's a big reason why Ohio State has had such a successful non-conference.
Missed one there, saved in bounds by Ohio State. Here comes Kraft with the ball. Kraft in transition. They never stopped him. And Matt Painter not happy about it. He wants a timeout.
Well, just on cue, we're talking about effort, we talk about hustles, and we talk about the identity of Ohio State basketball. It's that man, Aaron Craft, making plays. I think the strength of this conference, though, is really the depth of this conference. I think Penn State is much improved from where they were a year ago. Nebraska is trending in the right direction. Illinois with a lot of new components. Coach Gross has done a great job. And, of course, you saw there in the highlights their upset last year at home against #1 Indiana. A rematch of that game on that floor immediately following this game that we have here in West Lafayette.
You saw the quick update on the one-on-one. Purdue has hit the offensive glass. They just haven't always turned those into baskets. They haven't been able to get Hammonds a lot of touches down low, at least since the early portion of the first half. Trying to get him that touch. A reach-around foul against the Buckeyes.
It's been a frustrating game for Amir Williams. He came on the opening possession, was able to knock down a nice soft jump hook along the baseline, and he's going to walk himself right back off this floor again.
Yep, 3 fouls against Williams. And it is worth pointing out, Ohio State, they have a lot of strengths as a team. Depth in the post is not one of them. Trey McDonald in, number 55. He's the backup. Those two do not play at the same time. Hammonds over the top. Good catch and scoop.
They zone on the out of bounds underneath. Ohio State does. Aaron Craft was on Hammonds that time. Sealed him on the high side. Good soft touch over the top, and Hammonds didn't bring the ball down. He just finished right through.
He's got a double-double already with still more than 16 minutes to go. Craft, who has 6 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Scott the pull up. Good.
Shot starting to come back into rhythm. I think he's one of the best off seasons of anybody in this program, and the coaches are really excited about trying to get him a little bit more consistent at the offensive end of the floor, because as we've seen already, he's elite at the defensive end.
Back to Hammonds. Handoff to Tyrone Johnson with the big man. The basket was open.
With real action, turn the corner, and look to aggressively attack.
The big man on defense was not near the hoop because Hammonds had taken him away. Kraft pull up 3 off iron. Hammonds has done a great job on the defensive glass. Tyrone Johnson transition. Tie game. Scott, Smith, no good, a brick. Purdue can go back ahead. Hammonds Ross sort of read that pass. Good defense.
They'll force that one.
Kraft on the move. And the 3 on this end. Purdue once again with the ball. To the basket, no good. Great opportunity. And now the leak out for Scott. Buckeyes back up by 2.
Yeah, opportunities to regain the lead, opportunities to put yourself ahead. This crowd is waiting. They're on the edge of their seats. And a couple of missed opportunities, and Ohio State gets a leak out.
It got so loud after that 3 that tied it. Hammonds on the perimeter. Now he posts up. Scott, that's a foul from behind. So it's the big man McDonald who commits his 3rd foul and sends us to a timeout. We're not surprised, Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham here, that the Boilermakers are giving Ohio State fits on this court. This place could be so loud. Aaron Craft told us he thought the loudest game he's ever experienced in his college career was his freshman year in this building. And there is a big difference in terms of the makeup of these two rosters.
Well, and the Boilermakers 8-0 at home this year, one of 21 schools nationally to have that perfect 8-0 record.
Mason Scott, young player, did not start today, but has started a lot of games for Purdue. Has played well. Jerome Johnson, runner. Hammond's tip in.
He has been an absolute beast down low in the paint. 13 points, 12 rebounds, 4 block shots. He has done it all so far in this game.
The talent is enticing. It's big time. And he's starting to put it all together. He had some huge games last year, just did not do it consistently. Ross off the screen, way off the mark. Not a great shot.
And maybe the biggest number for A.J. Hammond's, 0 fouls.
Yeah, very impressive. Ohio State, by the way, they missed that 3. They are 2 for 17 from the outside in this game.
Well, watch Hammonds just do his work, put himself in position. A little nudge, a nice soft touch with one arm up over the top. It's doing work early, anticipating the miss.
Good position, had it slapped away. That was good defense. Stevens though got the carom. He's been cold from the outside.
Well, you bring up Ohio State's numbers. If there's one thing that people talk about with this team, we know the defense is outstanding. It's elite. But their perimeter shooting as an air ball is an illustration that there needs to be growth. There needs to be better consistency, and there needs to be improvement if this team is going to be amongst the best to win a national championship, because it's not just about Ohio State competing in the Big Ten. This team's good enough to compete for a national championship.
Almost like Shannon Scott wanted to give you a concrete example of what you were talking about. Kraft, meanwhile, rejects the pass, the potential entry pass out of bounds. So the Buckeyes set up on defense. It should be an elite Ohio State defensive team. Stronger on the perimeter than down low, but still is a very good defensive team.
3rd in the nation in scoring defense and field goal percentage defense. They do an outstanding job taking you out of option 1 and option 2.
Scott, pull up, air ball. A tough day for the freshman. Kraft off the dribble. Good little shot fake. Smith into the lane with contact. Count the basket.
Well, that's all predicated once again upon Aaron Kraft flattening out the defense. When the point guard breaks down your defense and drives all the way to the baseline, it sucks the entire defense in. Now you're closing out, and on the closeout, you utilize a good solid shot fake and able to get in the lane and finish.
First foul on Eric Peck. 3-point chance for Lenzel Smith, the senior. That was his first basket of this second half. He had 10 in the first half, and he misses the free throw. 2-point lead for the Buckeyes. Still trying to get the ball inside. Hammond stripped away again. Ross has used those quick hands several times here to knock the ball out of Hammond's hands.
And that's one area where Hammonds can still shield and protect, and if he chins it a little bit away from the defense rather than bringing it into the defense, then you don't allow them to swipe down and knock that ball out of your hands.
Inbound play, Jerome Johnson. Hammonds once again, that is obviously a point of emphasis. He missed the great look though. Loose ball on the floor. Shannon Scott comes away with it and then loses it. And a whistle on the foul.
Coach Painter disagrees with that one.
And his protest's a little gentler, I think, than most of the fans.
Loose ball situation, scrambling on the floor. He had lost control of the ball prior to running and changing directions in.
That's a bad call. A little break for the Buckeyes. That could have turned into a transition bucket for Purdue. Here's Kraft on the baseline, trying to reverse. His shot was blocked. Here come the Boilermakers. Kraft lurking. Almost took it away from his hands. Scott swatted at it. Tempers are flaring. Scott again having a real hard time on the offensive end.
The freshman's playing like a freshman right now.
Ross being allowed to knock down the defender. Blocking foul. Count the basket. And you thought they were angry before. Oh boy.
Well, Coach Painter's fired up. These fans are fired up. But right now, it's the Buckeyes up by 4.
This one has gotten very emotional. There's still, after all that break, booing about this call.
Set. Contact made. Don't see that one as a block. I mean, and even in the rules we're talking about, you got to be set before the guy. I mean, he was set, planted hands right there, just waiting, did not lean, did not shift, did not move.
Ross misses the free throw. And Purdue with the ball down 4, still a long way to go. And what has the feel of a very big game on the first day of conference play.
What a statement win this would be at home for Purdue. A young team, 10-3.
Johnson, tough shot. Buckeyes playing some real good defense right now.
No surprise. And likewise, if you're talking about for Purdue, for Ohio State, an opportunity to go on the road, tough environment, and get a win.
Again, I'll emphasize it. Aaron Kraft said there may not be a tougher place to play in league. Certainly not a louder place than this one. Ross off the dribble move, beautifully done.
Quentin Ross, his versatility, a double-double for 3 consecutive games. Playing so well. Playing within himself, not forcing the issue on that attack of the rim.
This is the biggest lead for either team. Tyrone Johnson just keeps shooting. There's a whistle and a foul, and it's going against the Buckeyes.
Well, Quentin Ross, as we talked about, really settling into his own, finding his rhythm with Ohio State. And after that slow start to the season has exploded and now becoming the role player that they need him to be, knowing exactly what it is, rebounding and scoring points. That's all you have to do with Quentin Ross.
At the inbound play, the freshman Kendall Stevens was fouled. It'll be a shooting foul for Purdue. So Stevens goes to the line. First personal against Aaron Kraft. The son of a former Purdue great, Everett Stevens, one of the 3 amigos going back a ways. Great Purdue team.
His father averaged 8.8 points per game, 4 rebounds per contest, part of those 3 amigos.
There's his dad, Everett, on the left side from the Media Guide cover several decades ago. I don't know if that's leather or pleather. I don't know what that is, but it's quite a look. I don't think you can catch his kid wearing that jacket.
Probably not, but it is retro, and retro's always in. Just remember that. We talk about the new rules and all the great defense Aaron Kraft plays. He's played 30 minutes of basketball and has 1 personal foul.
As hard as he plays, you're right. Smith, Ross. Set a screen for Kraft. Shot clock winding down. Kraft splits the defense. Finds Loving. 3!
How many times does Aaron Kraft break down the defense off of penetration and find wide open shooters on the outside? That's why if Ohio State can get more consistent shooting the ball from the outside, they take it to a whole nother level.
Fun to be his teammate. Fun to play with Aaron Kraft. There's another Buckeyes foul.
I mean, just watch the dribble penetration. 3 defensive players have to swarm around Aaron Kraft to try to prevent him from getting a layup. And that leaves you wide open on the outside, and the freshman knocks it down.
That was his 9th assist of the game, with still almost 10 minutes to go. No turnovers. Smugman rattles home the first of 2 free throws. These feel like big moments for Purdue. Their big man A.J. Hammonds has been on the bench. That's going to change now, because Ohio State has built that lead up a little bit. Boilermakers trying to hang around.
Every time A.J. Hammonds has gone to the bench, Ohio State has gone on runs.
Yep.
So you've got to try to milk as many minutes out of this final 9:29 that you can out of A.J. Hammonds. He's not in foul trouble, but just effort-wise, you see the plays he can make.
He sets up Johnson, missed the 3, and Hammonds will grab another one. Here's Rayfeld Davis to the basket.
That should get credit. Those are 2 offensive rebounds that extended the possession and gave him a chance.
Hammonds, it didn't take him long to get right back in the game. He's got a career high now, 14 rebounds. Hammonds does. Ross posting up, dribbled, and had it stripped away, but out of bounds. So So on the end line there, Sterling Carter. I think they'll call that a change of possession, so the shot clock will stay at 18. Four-point lead for the Buckeyes, who keep the ball. Admato wants an explanation. Back to play. The head coach of Ohio State calls a set play from the bench. Kraft. Good. Another assist for Aaron Kraft. It's Scott who converts.
Drive and kick. Drive and kick. It's what Aaron Kraft does. Sets the table. 10 assists now.
Purdue. See if they get Hammonds a touch down low. Lonnie Johnson. The left hand stripped away. Stolen. Clinton Ross got Hammonds way up in the air. Loving, another look for three. Not this time, but Scott draws a foul. No basket, the foul before that.
You talk about great distributors of the basketball, winners, guys that just get it. They know and they make basketball plays. Kraft drives, defense, pitches in. Go ahead, kick it to the corner and knock it down.
Scott makes the first of 2 free throws. You're talking about the hustle, the effort, how contagious that is. I think the unselfishness is as well. He's got 10 assists, but the team, Ohio State, has 18 assists on 25 field goals.
So when you talk about what do we know about Ohio State this season, the first thing that came to mind is they're an unselfish basketball team at the offensive end. They pass the ball. It doesn't matter the assist totals. They're moving the defense. They're creating opportunities for their teammates.
They also have not turned it over in the second half. So they pass the ball and they take care of it. Hammonds, great position, and not going to stop him once he gets it there.
He's been doing work early in the possession. That means he's doing work prior to the anticipation of getting the pass. And that's why he's found himself so open and in an operational area where he can score.
He's kept Purdue in this game, A.J. Hammonds. Kraft wants a screen from Loving.
Small lineup, and Hammonds right now on Loving, which is why they're trying to move Loving away from the basket to take the shot blocker out of the paint.
The small lineup has been pretty effective for the Buckeyes overall. Kraft, the nifty ball handling, draws a foul. On the floor, he was fouled. So Aaron Kraft has started to take this game over, trying to take his Buckeyes undefeated into 2014.
Well, Seth Greenberg back in studio was talking about teams that have new point guards and are trying to play through and still learn. There's no learning when it comes to Aaron Kraft. He's not a new point guard. He's old school, and he plays with a great basketball IQ, setting the table for his teammates. 10 assists, 0 turnovers, 6 points, 6 rebounds. A very efficient game for Aaron Kraft, and you look at where he ranks in the career rankings for Ohio State. You and I were talking about it yesterday. His senior day later on this year, that's going to be an emotional senior day for Buckeye fans.
Even Ted Valentine might miss Aaron Kraft. He's been around a long while. And Aaron, he is very aware of all of it. We were talking to him. He's got the countdown going. Can you believe I have 9 home games left? So he's got the countdown in his head. He was talking about what the scene will be like.
For every senior, though, they should play with that sense of urgency and understanding and cherishing the moments that all the hard work that you put in for your university to try to win a championship or to be an elite player.
The freshman Mark Loving, who's got a chance to be that, turns the ball over there. They had not turned it over in this half until there. That was a travel. Purdue still very much in this game. They need some baskets. Carter had it poked away, and they'll say out of bounds off of Lenzel Smith.
10-3, this Purdue team. They are better than they were last year.
Yeah.
I saw this team a year ago. They may not have a shooter like Bird on the outside, but this is a team that is improving. And if A.J. Hammonds plays at this level, they're going to win a lot of games in the Big Ten.
Ronnie Johnson to Karam. Hammonds had it poked away. That's happened a few times in this game. Loving in transition to Ross. Ohio State up by 9.
16-10 for Ross. Those numbers continue to trend in the right direction for a team that at times struggles to score.
Hammonds came up short, and that's a foul against Purdue. Hammonds commits the personal. You see a lot of the good from A.J. Hammonds. Still has some things he can improve upon.
You know, for both these teams, you can improve upon your shooting. Combined 6 of 32 from beyond the arc. Excuse me, 33 from behind the arc.
It ain't pretty, no matter which way.
Inside the arc, both these teams have actually had success.
Ross, both teams down the bonus for the final 6:35. Front end of the 1-and-1. This is the second. Well, this is the potential breakout star on this Ohio State team. They've got Smith and Scott and Kraft have been around a long time, been big parts of Ohio State's teams for years. Ross is the guy whose role has increased and whose production is going up big time.
Well, the expectations were just that. I mean, the upside of when he came to this program, people thought he was one of those potential pro players. And he's playing very well right now.
Ross goes by Hammonds, another layup for the Quentin Ross. Starting to talk to some of the Purdue fans here as Ohio State has opened up its biggest lead. Timeout Boilermakers. Quentin Ross looks like he's ready to be an all Big Ten performer. On the road, especially impressive. And Johnson lays it in. Much needed basket for Purdue.
Well, and now they need to get some much needed stops. Because the offense coming a little bit too easy here in the last couple of minutes for Ohio State, which has allowed them to balloon out this lead.
And I want to point it out again. They've scored on 8 of their last 9 trips, so that sort of backs up what you were talking about. Loving used the shot fake. Here's Kraft. But this smaller lineup has been really effective for the Buckeyes. Again, Kraft to Scott. No good. Tip ball. Here come the Boilermakers. Kraft got back on defense, poked the ball away, and somehow Johnson flipped it up and in.
Good hands, knocked it away. Great visual contact, staying with the play, allowed Johnson to put that one off the backboard.
Getting loud again after a couple straight Purdue baskets. Panic in Aaron Kraft. Smith, shot clock winding down. There's Loving, steps into the 2. Way too strong, and Ross got the shot off in time. Right as the shot clock was going off, Ross tipped it in. That was a very big play. Hammonds lost it again out of bounds, but a whistle and a foul.
Well, opportunities to get a stop at the defensive end. You played in that possession 34.8 seconds of great half-court defense, and you have a breakdown for 0.2 seconds of it.
Yeah, and in some ways, bad luck. The air ball can be hard to anticipate as a defensive rebounder, but still, the point is well taken. 1-and-1. Hammonds will get a second. Let's take one more look at that Ross follow.
You see the air ball up over the top and in his hands almost exact same time as that light went off. But you credit Ross for putting himself in the right position. 21 points, 11 rebounds.
Yes, their last 7. Hammonds made 1 of 2. Scott, good hustle to get to the loose ball. State really has to be encouraged with their offense and the way it's functioned. They were struggling on the offensive end.
Well, I think you've pointed out a couple times during the second half. This smaller lineup has given them more versatility and better floor spacing offensively. Well, this is a lineup you're going to see a lot more of as the season progresses for Ohio State.
And they've survived on defense with good team defense, defending Hammonds even without a traditional big guy. Hammonds with the catch to his teammate cutting to the basket. Smotherman scores. This game is not over. Down to 7. Ohio State wants a timeout.
You just get
36 to go, Sean.
You just get a sense, by the way, looking at the program overall for Purdue. The young players, the freshmen. Smotherman, one of those players for Purdue, that this freshman class kind of embodies Coach Painter a little bit more than some of the recent players. And a nice job moving without the ball. And once again, who do they play through? It's A.J. Hammonds. And Hammonds with a nice touch pass there. And that's a difficult pass for a big man, to have that feel and that vision, able to drop that pass off. And for St. Mary's, they're going on the road without their head coach, Randy Bennett, who is in the midst of serving his suspension, handed down from the NCAA.
Could be the key game in that league all year long. Right out of the shoot. Kraft with the ball out of the timeout, under 15 to shoot. Williams is back in the game for Ohio State. And he'll get a touch against Hammonds. Wild shot, but he scores.
And Williams hasn't had many opportunities to be aggressive at the offensive end of the floor. He is 3 for 3 from the field.
Beneficient has not played many minutes with the foul trouble. Hammonds from the perimeter came up short. There's Smotherman. Another basket for the freshman.
We see his activity, just his effort, his activity around the ball on the court. He puts himself in good situations. Good things are going to happen when you're working as hard as Smotherman has.
Purdue puts the pressure on. It's hard to press Scott and Kraft, though.
It's so dynamic when you have two players that can control the game at the offensive end of the floor and wreak havoc at the defensive end of the floor, but that's what Ohio State has in Scott and Kraft.
Dave Fleming alongside Sean Farnham. This game's not over. The Buckeyes, though, perhaps poised to survive a real test with their senior leading the way.
Well, we talked about LaQuinton Ross, but it is Aaron Kraft. His ability to set the table for his teammates. 10 assists, 0 turnovers, 6 rebounds, 6 points, 4 steals. He's done a little bit of everything. And, oh, by the way, the intangibles as far as leadership, hustle plays that we've seen has really motivated and energized his team on the road, and they're going to need some more of those plays down the stretch of this game, because I don't think Purdue is backing down right now.
Big miss, front end of the 1-and-1. Ronnie Johnson and the Boilermakers can cut into the lead. He's double figures for a good stretch there. Johnson, the shot blocker in the way, and Williams comes away with the tip.
Good job on the weak side, active hands, deflecting the pass out, brought it back to Williams. I would like to see them get the ball to Hammonds. Hammonds a team high in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks in this game. Continue to play through and believe in your big guy.
We'll emphasize that stat line again when we get a pause. Hammonds has had a monster statistical game. Even though he has not shot the ball all that well. Ohio State very content to work some clock here, under 10 on the shot clock. Here's Kraft. Gotta get a shot off. Aaron Kraft, maybe deflected. And Johnson comes away with it. And they stop action, blew the whistle. Purdue had the ball to say it was a shot clock violation. Matt Painter said, well, wait a minute, we had it. We were going the other way.
And that is a big call, especially from the standpoint of now you allow Ohio State to set up the defense. Now the ball's deflected out, and it is the right call in that situation, but it is a big call because now it allows the defense to really get established.
Johnson, Hammonds puts it in. Contact, no whistle. Kraft wondering what happened there. A quick timeout for the Boilermakers. Hammonds adds to that stat line. 18 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 blocks for A.J. Hammonds.
He is having a career-type game against a very good Ohio State team. And if there's one area, we've mentioned it time and time again, the interior of this Buckeyes team, and A.J. Hammonds has exploited that with relative ease in this game. And if you couple that with the fact that Hammonds only has 1 personal foul, this is as good as Matt Painter could have hoped that A.J. Hammonds would play today.
It's only a 5-point game. Just a glimpse at what Hammonds has been able to do.
Well, immediately he set the tone, getting a couple of big blocks early in the first half. He has shored up the defensive glass all afternoon long, and then just being aggressive down low. And what I do appreciate about Purdue is the point of emphasis to get him the ball. We're showing you a lot of his hustle plays to allow second and third opportunities, but they went to him early, and if you get him engaged in the game where he feels like he's going to be a focal point for what you're trying to accomplish, I think you're going to see these type of numbers more consistently. And this is why I said A.J. Hammonds could be the most dominating interior presence in the Big Ten this year. But he has to play like this every night.
Yeah, he looks like it today. Ross was fouled, so Ohio State breaks the press. And I'll say it again, it's just hard to put full court pressure against the Buckeyes with the 2 ball handlers, 3 if you include Smith, but Kraft and Scott, they're just not going to turn it over very often.
Well, the ability to break your defense down, then LaQuinton Ross has benefited a lot from that. He's got 21 as he steps to the free throw line. In the last 4 games, came in averaging 17 points per game.
It's the first 6-point lead. You don't want to play from behind in the last couple minutes against the Buckeyes for that reason.
9 out of the last 11 for Ohio State have come off the fingertips of LaQuinton Ross.
So now Purdue, they can't waste time, and they can't have empty trips. Down 7. Johnny Johnson. Jerome Johnson. Scores. Now the Boilermakers set up pressure. 5-point lead. That clock continues to go. Williams, they would like to foul Williams. Johnson fouls Shannon Scott.
Well, Scott, a 62% free throw shooter on the season heading into this game. He has made a pair of them in this contest.
A double bonus time now for the Buckeyes.
At the line for Ohio State, shooting 2, number 3, Shannon Scott.
It's the first.
Really good teams find a way to win games. On the road, neutral floor, and of course that Notre Dame game for Ohio State, they really felt like Notre Dame was going to walk out with a win at Madison Square Garden.
That's sort of stretching the definition of finding a way to win a game. They had no chance to win that game.
They fell into that one.
And got it done. Lenzel Smith was at 9 points in the last, 50 seconds. Purdue, again, they've got to hurry. Johnson in the lane. No good. Tip up. And Ohio State secures it. Kraft to Scott. Thompson back to Smith. Well, that was a mistake. The Buckeyes could have just held the ball. Smotherman, and he draws a foul. And that last sequence was a little sloppy.
Well, and I think a miscommunication clearly by Smith and Thompson. I think Thompson was asking Smith to drive in and maybe throw it up so one of the high risers in all of college basketball could go up and get one. And the miscommunication ended with a quick miss.
So 2 shots for Basil Smotherman. Trying to get into double figures. And he missed the first of 2. Purdue also, they need an outside shooter to emerge. You play from behind, and they haven't even attempted 3-point shots. They just don't have a real weapon outside.
Kendall Stevens is probably the best option that they have. And he hit 40% of his 3-point shots the last 2 games coming in. He's been unable to get going. Conference play is a different beast. And you're, Coach Painter, you're relying on freshmen to step up to try to help you.
Missed them both. And Ohio State ball, the Buckeyes. Ross will be fouled, and barring a disaster, any game Ohio State's involved in, we can't say the game's over until it actually is after what happened against Notre Dame. But Buckeyes looking to put this one away now.
And they go home on Saturday for Ohio State. They play Nebraska before that big meeting that we talked about earlier next Tuesday night at Michigan State. 9 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN.
Yeah, Buckeyes are going to, looks like, stay undefeated. Had a big game. This is his career high, 24 points. Great news for Buckeyes fans if he plays this well.
Well, I really think that both these teams are going to be able to walk out of here with, and there is no moral victory. And Coach Painter's not going to be happy they lost this game. But I think he learned some things about his team that they can really grow from. And I think if again, A.J. Hammonds plays like this, you're going to win a lot of games. You know, you need guys to start making some shots from the outside. Defensively, they were pretty solid. Ohio State, as you've mentioned, their offense has been much better in the second half.
They're going to wave that one off. I think it's hard to blame Hammonds there crashing in, but he interfered with it. Ohio State's offense has been good.
75 points, and if this is a team that can get to the 70-point plateau on a consistent basis with their defense, they're going to win a lot of games. 21 assists and only 6 turnovers. It's managing the basketball game, putting yourself by not shooting yourself in the foot, not having empty possessions. You give yourself a chance.
Final 19.4 seconds. Kraft is the inbounder. And they're going to call a foul on Purdue, shoving against Smith as he tried to get open. We were talking about Ohio State staying undefeated. A look at the undefeateds remaining in college hoops.
Some great teams, obviously Arizona and Oregon, both in the Pac-12. Syracuse with their guard play, I think, has really taken a step forward. Wichita State is interesting. Jimmy Dykes said this on SportsCenter earlier today. He feels that the Shockers could enter the NCAA tournament with an unblemished record, and I don't disagree. I saw them in Kansas City earlier this year at the CBE. Fred Van Vliet, we talk about point guards, we talk about Aaron Kraft. Fred Van Vliet is managing the offense right now and creating opportunities for the Shockers. He's going to be an elite level guard by the end of this season. Everybody's going to know his name in college basketball.
Tough to go through the Valley undefeated, but Wichita State has the talent to do it. No Creighton in that league this year. Johnson, no good. And Kraft has it. They will foul Aaron Kraft. Final 11.5 seconds of this one. This game is basically over. Coming up next, Indiana, Illinois. The site of that great upset. Indiana, different team this year, but still Illinois looking for a big win.
Well, Illinois, and I had an opportunity to see them against Oregon on a neutral floor up in Portland. They really can defend this year, and the key obviously is going to be at the offensive end, a very different team. Last year's identity for the Illini was their three-point shooting ability at this time of year. This year, their identity is at the defensive end of the floor. Ravonte Rice is the one guy that transferred out of Drake that can get their offense going.
Kraft hit the first. Ohio State. And this was a free throw for the first time in a while. They've made 9 in a row, icing this game. Good effort from the Boilermakers. Johnson throws in the three. But it's not going to make a difference in the result. Ohio State, third-ranked team in the country, stays undefeated with a very nice road win.
Excellent execution, a very clean offensive game, not turning it over. Some better shooting from the outside. This one could have been a little bit even wider for the Buckeyes.
Buckeyes win. For Sean Farnham, Dave Fleming. We'll send it back to the studio.